Hello and welcome to Around the Diocese. I'm Father Sight with your March 8th edition. We dedicate this episode to remembering Bishop Moynihan, who passed from this life to the next on Monday, March 6th. As shepherd of our diocese, he served us with both strength and grace. With a look back on his life and legacy, we now go to friend of the diocese and News Channel 9 managing editor, Dan Cummings.
The Most Reverend James M. Moynihan, the 9th Bishop of the Diocese of Syracuse, died on March 6, 2017, at the age of 84. Bishop Moynihan served as our bishop for 14 years. Born in Rochester, New York, Moynihan was the son of Michael and Caroline Horrigan Moynihan and brother to one sister, Carol Ann Moynihan. He graduated from St. Andrew's Seminary High School in Rochester before attending St. Bernard's Seminary College. He graduated in 1954 with a Bachelor of Arts degree. He was ordained a priest on December 15, 1957, at the North American College Chapel in Rome, Italy, and continued his theological studies at North American College. He obtained a doctorate in canon law, summa cum laude, from the Gregorian University in Rome. He was named associate pastor of Our Lady of Mount Carmel Parish in Rochester and served there from 1961 to 1963. Later, his several appointments in the Rochester Diocese included Secretary and Vice Secretary to Bishop James E. Carney and Chancellor to Bishop Fulton Sheen and Bishop Joseph Hogan. Moynihan also served as the Catholic chaplain for the Rochester Police Department, an appointment he considered an honor to his father, who was a Rochester deputy police chief. He was named pastor of St. Joseph Church in Penfield, where he served from 1976 to 1991. In 1991, Moynihan was appointed Associate Secretary General of the Catholic Near East Welfare Association in New York City. He was made a Monsignor in 1993. Bishop Moynihan was appointed Bishop of Syracuse on April 4, 1995, and was ordained and installed on May 29, 1995, at the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception in downtown Syracuse. He immediately announced three priorities for the diocese: Catholic education, vocations to the priesthood and religious life, and the promotion of life. During his tenure, Moynihan was the first bishop to lead prayerful processions to Planned Parenthood offices for the conversion of hearts and the protection of the unborn.
I was always interested in respecting human life at every moment, at every stage, from the first moment of conception to the moment of natural death. He lived his life that way.
He traveled to Africa and Poland to recruit priests to serve in the diocese.
He was preoccupied with calling people to meet Jesus in the priesthood. Of course, there were real challenges during his time, the diminishing number of priests, but vocations was one of the two or three principal concerns that was his.
He launched a heritage campaign, the largest campaign in diocesan history, which raised more than $42 million. He secured the Robert and Catherine McDevitt bequest, valued at over $30 million, to care for priests and meet the needs of the diocese. He initiated a Catholic education fund, securing a $1 million gift from Joseph and Elaine Scuderi, now the Scuderi Fund, to assist with tuition assistance. Bishop Moynihan released a pastoral letter in 2001, equipping the saints for the work of ministry. It outlined a parish restructuring plan for the diocese in response to the declining number of clergy and changing population in the 7 counties. This reconfiguration plan laid the groundwork for the pastoral planning process that is still taking place today. In 2003, Bishop Moynihan faced one of the greatest challenges in the modern history of the Church, the clergy sex abuse crisis. In October of 2003, he publicly apologized for the harm caused to victims of sexual abuse and asked any individual who had been harmed to report their abuse. He established a diocesan review board to review claims of abuse, a safe environment program that requires criminal background checks and training for all clergy, religious, employees, and volunteers who work with children. He also established an Office of Victim Assistance to serve as a point of contact for any individual who has been harmed by a member of the clergy. In 2005, Bishop Moynihan traveled to the Vatican for the beatification of Blessed Mary Ann Cope, who was later canonized St. Mary Ann Cope, the first saint of the Diocese of Syracuse. In 2006, Bishop Moynihan announced that Pope Benedict XVI had approved his request to name 11 Monsignors, the first time that priests were elevated to the title of Monsignor in the diocese in over 30 years. In 2007, Bishop Moynihan turned 75 years old and, as required, submitted his resignation to Pope Benedict XVI. He retired upon the installation of Bishop Robert J. Cunningham on May 26, 2009. Bishop Moynihan's episcopal motto was, "Support one another in love," taken from St. Paul's letter to the Ephesians. He believed this expressed his deep belief and faith that all of us, as followers of the Lord Jesus Christ, are bound together and are therefore compelled and required to do all that we can to support one another in love.
Thank you, Dan. Throughout this week, we will be remembering Bishop Moynihan on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter with hashtag Remembering Bishop Moynihan. Next week, we will pay tribute to his life and legacy with a special edition of the Catholic Sun on Wednesday, March 15th. That's all for this episode. May God grant eternal rest to Bishop Moynihan, and may we strive to live always by his episcopal motto, support one another in love.